that you don't know how to do, and we'll talk about them on Wednesday. So today we talk about triangle inequalities again. This one is like a kind of a staple about triangles. How you can actually figure out if things can make a triangle. So what they're saying here is in Theorem 511, you could call this a triangle inequality theorem if you wanted to. So again, if you don't remember the number, just remember that there's a name for it. And this says the sum of the lengths of any two sides of a triangle is greater than the third side. So basically they're going to give you lengths of the sides, and you're just going to add them up and compare it to the third side. And when you add the two sides together, if it's bigger, then those three lengths are able to make a triangle. If they're not, then when you would put them together, they wouldn't reach. So if you're basically building like a cow pin or something that you wanted to look like a triangle, you'd have a gap at the end because they wouldn't reach. Okay, so basically one method is you should actually look through all of them, right? But kind of a cheap method is just start with the two smallest. Start with the two smallest sides and add them together and see if it's bigger than the third. Then you don't have to go through the process of looking at all of them. You're just adding up the two smallest ones. So, you have pieces of tubing that are 6, 7, 9, and 16. Okay? How many different triangles can I make? So if I look at this, if I add up two of the sides, is it bigger than the third? So if I added up the first two sides, is it bigger than the third one? Yes, so this combination right here would be one triangle, right? That would work. Is there anything else that would work? Or any of the other two sides, any combination of two sides bigger than the third side? It's got to be bigger, not equal to. Nothing else works, right? Because if we move down to 7 and 9, well, 7 plus 9 is equal to 16. So realistically, if you wanted this to be a tight container, if you were going to fill it up with water or something, it wouldn't fully reach the last little piece. You'd have a sliver in this one. Okay, so basically, again, what they're going to do here is they're going to give you a bunch of sides. So if you look at this right here, real quick, 1, 2, and 3. Can I make a triangle out of 1, 2, and 3? Nope, right? Next one, 21, 32, and 18. So again, I don't care what order they give them to me. It doesn't matter. 21, 32, and 18. Does any of those two sides added up make it bigger than the third? So again, I'm always going to take the two smallest sides and see if it's bigger than the third one. Is 21 plus 18 bigger than 32? Yes. So this is simply yes. They will make a triangle. So that section, you're just saying yes or no. Okay? Questions there? Hopefully that's not too hard. Okay? The next part is finding the range of the missing third side. What's the range mean? If you're talking about measures of central tendency, the mean, median, and the mode, sometimes they throw in the range. What's that mean? Kind of the distance. It's the distance between that we could include those numbers that it would work. Right? That's the range. So we're looking for a third side that would work in our triangle, but we could have multiple answers. Alright? So, the biggest number and the smallest number is usually what they say the range is. So here's my process. We're going to try to find this third missing side. So the first thing they need to do is they need to give you sides or lengths of those sides or whatever we're talking about. Again, we can have 2B, we can have whatever it is. It doesn't even matter what the units are. Actually, it kind of does, because make sure that you look at these and make sure that they're all the same unit too. They won't do that, but essentially you need them all to be feet or meters or whatever. Okay, so the first thing they're going to do is give you some kind of two lengths. Okay, so my steps. We're trying to find that third side that would make this, or us able to make triangles. That's all that we're looking for. Does that make sense? So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to figure out some kind of variable. Doesn't matter what you use, okay? You're going to add up the two sides given. And what did we say over here? Two of the sides has to be what to the third side? It's got to be bigger. So I'm going to add up these two sides. So you're going to take 8 plus 13, or whatever they give you in the problem. So we get 21. And we're going to add up the sides and put it greater than the variable that you made up. So again, I don't care what variable you use. Pick out your favorite variable. So basically, I'm going to use K. I'm going to say K has to be, or 21 has to be greater than K, right? Because these two sides have to add up and be bigger than my third side. Everybody agree? Okay? The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the variable added to each side that I have. Okay, so K, or whatever your variable is, I'm going to add it to each individual side that was originally given to me. K plus 8. What does K plus 8 have to be compared to 13? But at K plus 8, these two sides have to be what to my third side over here? It's got to be greater than 13. So I'm putting the variable added to each side greater than the third side. So my other one that I would write is what? K plus 13 has to be greater than what? Now has to be greater than 8. So every single time you should have 3 different inequalities. You're going to add the two together and put that greater than the variable. Then you're going to take each side that they give you and pair it with the variable and add them together and say it's greater than that third side. Number 3, solve. Solve each inequality. So these are going to be real simple. Taking us back to pre-algebra, basically. So what do I get on the top? K is greater than 5. And down here, K is greater than negative 5. Right? I'm subtracting 13 to both sides. So basically now we have these 3 inequalities. Everybody agree? So you're going to now then, number 4, make a compound inequality. Remember what compound inequalities were? That's where the variable was in the middle, and then you had basically less than or greater than around it. Okay, so I'm going to put k in the middle. Now here's the key. Every single time that you do this part right here, throw out the negative one. Don't use negative value. Why would I say this? Even though that I'm going to make a range, can I ever build a pen where I had a negative length of something for one of my sides of my fence? Heck no, right? So, which one are we eliminating? We're coming back and we're going to eliminate that one right there, right? Because we don't want that negative one. So what's left over? We have k is greater than 5, and we have over here k is less than 21. So here's my compound inequality, right? Most of the time we would rewrite it the other way. 5 is less than k, which is less than 21. But both of these are the same thing. It doesn't matter. And so my range, if I pick any numbers inside that range, and I compare it with my other two sides that they originally gave me, it should work in the inequality that we did at the beginning. So pick one number in between 5 and 21 and test it out. If I take 10, is 8 plus 10 bigger than 13? Yeah. If I take 6, is 6 plus 8 bigger than 13? Yeah. So any of those numbers inside there, but it has to be greater than or it has to be less than. Don't use the two end ones. It's not less than or equal to, and it's not greater than or equal to. Because if I put 5 in here, 5 plus 8 is equal to 13, we're still a smidge off when we would try to group them together. That makes sense? All right. So, let's try one out. Let's do 21 and 27. All right? So, what are we going to do? Add them up and add them up. 21 plus 27? 48 has to be what? Greater than some variable. Now what? Try it out. See what you get. Work out the rest of the problem. Get an answer? So again then, I'm going to take x and pair it with each one. Then I'm going to solve each. As soon as I get my positive one, I don't even have to really do the second one. So my grand total should have been x is greater than 6. Let's do it this way. And x is less than 48. Is that what you got? All right. That's it for today. All you gotta do. Those two things. Piece of cake, right?